record this shit. But like I was saying, I feel like when people say new year, new me, I feel like maybe that's them, realizing that who the fuck they've been isn't who they want to be. And maybe who they want to be is a completely different person that they have to work on being. And I feel like, when people are like, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself, who are we? We need time to explore that. Who you are is learned. What you do is learned. So for someone to tell you be yourself, you have to figure out what that means to you. And therefore, someone saying new year, new me, I'm not going to hate on that and act like they're full of shit because they said that however many years in a row. I'm going to be like, damn, you know what? Maybe it's time for a new you. I feel like I had a new me moment, you know what I mean? I've had a couple new me moments, and they've all been important in my growth. And they've all, like, and not even can I say, not only, excuse me, not, I cannot pinpoint the time or the day specifically when I had a new me situation, or where I felt like who I was no longer good and I started to work towards another person. Exactly, Simbots. You are not obligated to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. Exactly. You can change, and like your life can change and make you be somebody else. That's real. Just like trauma and abuse can make you be somebody else. Just like when you dealing with a stressful, horrible situation, you try to, navigate that. You're not really being you. You're living under a cover of something else, or you're living within an abusive situation. So you got to kind of change yourself and move in a different way, not the way that you're used to. So, I mean, again, there are lots of people out here killing their old self, trying to be somebody new, or trying to figure out what the fuck they're even doing. You know what I mean? So I feel like I wish we would bash people less on like the idea of changing completely who the fuck you are, because like a lot of us are ingrained with like a lot of things that are toxic, and when we try to change them, people think you're being fake because you're no longer subscribing to the maybe limited or ignorant views you used to have. Like I think, I spoke to y'all a while ago, like, I don't want to say a while, like, let's say a couple years ago. I want to say maybe at least 2-3 years ago, about how, I used to think that, like, because I was fat, I was only ever going to meet somebody else who's fat to care for me or be intimate with me. And that comes a lot, that stigma is not something I just came up with. You know what I mean? I didn't just wake up and choose to loathe who I was. We have to realize that there are parts of us or things that we contribute to that are systemic, that we can't just stop doing them, because it's not as easy as us stopping an action. It's more so getting to the root of that line of thinking and really having to fucking, figure out, how to pull out of that shit, but also how to abolish it in their lives, case by case. So I think it's really important, to note that shit, especially when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, because like a lot of people out here, they want to be like, oh, I want to lose weight. Like my New Year's resolution is to like lose weight, or it's to, lose however much weight and, look this way or do this or change this behavior. And a lot of it is just like this throwaway shit, because we're not actually looking at the systemic ways in which we contribute to that shit, but how like the outside forces influence us internally and change us, for the worst, or turn us against ourselves or against people who are us, and therefore we contribute to even bigger systems of oppression. Sometimes against ourselves again, and against people who are, us. No, I love Pixies. I agree. Unlearning is definitely a process, and that's something that I'm really trying to focus on this year. I think one of the things I want to leave behind in 2013 is this like double think, where I'm witnessing something fucked up, or something fucked up is brought to my attention, and I immediately think worst case scenario, or wonder how I'll be implicated. Because there was a situation, actually two situations earlier this year, or rather later this year, like earlier this month rather, where, you know, I wasn't an ally to people, where I wasn't believing people, where I wasn't able to like understand how power dynamics work. And, you know, in ways I feel like I was mimicking similar behavior that I was previously trying to call out. So there were a lot of things happening, especially in my home space, that I would never want to happen again. Um, and again, I just want to say that I think, you know, when we talk about things that we want to change, things we want to work on, we have to, again, get it to the root and not really try to shame ourselves for things that may be voluntary or involuntary, in terms of like, you know, how we treat each other and how we treat ourselves, um, and what that means moving forward. But I definitely want to stamp out this double think where, you know, I'm confronted with someone abusing their privilege, or rather using their privilege in the space period, amongst other people who do not have that same privilege, or folks that like are being harmed by that privilege. You know, and being an ally when it makes the most sense. I think that sometimes we forget our power in spaces, and how power equals privilege, and how, you know, when we do have the power to change shit, or we have the power of influence, we need to be on the fucking side of like those who are oppressed. We need to be fucking listening and believing those who are not believed, who are constantly seen as suspicious, and marginalized because of those things. So, you know, I want to be a better, I want to be a better ally, and a better, I want my praxis to be there, and I want my agency to be there. I feel like that's what needs to be. Word, I appreciate you. I love Pixies for contributing, and Karen R for contributing as well. Eva J87, what up? Thank you for the happy birthdays. Simbots, always glad to have you. Alright, word, that's everybody that's here. What up? Oh, Sir Ford, what's up? Steph Awesome, what up? Thank you guys all for your sweet comments. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of text messages. Okay, I have like tweets sent to my phone, so shit is ridiculous. What up, Queen Cuddy? How are you? But yeah, another thing that I want to leave behind in 2013 is, I think, my inability to like, you know, take healing time. I think that like there were several times where I needed to take space to heal, and I just didn't. And that was me neglecting what I needed. And it wasn't for nobody else. It was more so me just putting a back burner, um, or rather me putting myself on the back burner. And it's something that I really need to work on, because it really would help me out tremendously to be able to like really work on healing and manifesting, and, you know, just like working on like my spiritual energy, and like how it can collect shit just from being around certain folks or being in certain situations, and like how that like affects my overall mood, and like how I feel like in my entirety. I really need to get better at like understanding my needs. You know, that's another thing, that I want to leave behind in 2013, is like this idea that like I gotta be strong, or I gotta like stand up, or I gotta fucking shuffle. Like if I need to fall down and collapse, I gotta be able to do that, and that's real. Like there were many instances where I needed to stop, and I just didn't stop. And I feel like in some ways I'm still dealing with like this kind of like runaway stagecoach situation where I don't really feel grounded, where I don't really feel like everything's really hitting me, you know, where like I've been back, you know, in the East Coast for probably like less than 48 hours, and I'm just feeling like really like, what the fuck? You know, I didn't want to leave New Orleans. It feels very strange to not be there, to be honest. And I'm just doing me right now and trying to like, again, take time to heal. And I probably shouldn't be in New Orleans right now, and I probably should be working on my healing. But at the same time, something just feels so wrong and just so like uprooting about this most recent time out of New Orleans. And even though I may be getting like my ducats in order, and like all my ideas together, it still feels like fuck, you know? But the thing is, can you really be like holding on to like 6 different pieces of wood to float down a river on top of planning where the fuck you gonna like pitch a tent? You know what I mean? It's like I have way too much going on. And that has, again, a lot to do with realizing when it's time to stop, heal, process, despite how much it may delay other shit or might even like delay just other situations. Um, but again, I wanna just keep moving on and not derail. Cause like I mean I guess there are some negative points, but I guess like they come from a positive place. Like things that I wanna like really be mindful of because I wanna be an intentional person. I wanna do things with with an idea behind it, not just be like living all willy nilly and just doing things because. And I find a lot of times when I do things without intentions, I usually fuck it up like or fuck up a lane of communication or a lane of energy between me and another person. And I really have to get better at like, you know, communicating with other people. That's really like something I wanna work on. But I also, again, I want to work on like not giving a fuck if I have to dead a bitch because like my time is precious. That's another thing. I want to leave behind this idea that like because I take healing and personal like relaxation time very seriously, that means that I'm not doing shit, and also and also correlating with that my time is like more expendable than somebody else's. I think that it's like important, you know, for me to remember that like I do have the ability to say no. I do have the ability to say I don't want to do this shit because I don't want to fucking do this shit. And I feel like having, again, with that double think where it's like, oh, did I hurt somebody's feelings? Like, just because I said no, I didn't want to do something. Like, did I hurt somebody's feelings by being real? You know what I mean? It's like that kind of shit. You know, you could be nice to somebody all the fucking day you want to be nice to them, but like at the same time, it's like you gotta be nice to yourself. And if you're always doing something for somebody, you always giving your time away, eventually you'll start to feel slighted. It happens no matter who the fuck you are. If you're a real giving ass person, you start to notice the ways in which niggas is not giving back to you. So you have to realize when you're doing too much and you need to do for yourself. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to say. It's like I need to realize when it's time for me to be like, nah, you know, like, and it's just nah, and there's no explanation needed. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you gotta learn how to say nah. And there's a lot of people out here that don't know how to say nah. I don't know how to say it sometimes. Sometimes I be in situations where I want to say nah, where I should have said nah, but I didn't. And then it just snowballs into some other shit. And then I'd be really wishing I would have said nah, you know? But, as I said, you know, don't stop yourself from saying no. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying no sometimes. Fuck, there's nothing wrong with saying no half the fucking time. Don't let nobody shame you or guilt you into saying yes, especially when you saying yes don't really benefit you and or will take away from yourself. Like, fuck that shit, okay? Everybody want to ask for something, and it's nice to be able to give. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to be able to give. But if you really can't, because I know there's some people like myself who give even when they don't got. Like, you give something because you feel like you got extra, but you really didn't have extra. It just felt that way right in that moment. But when you factored in your actual life, it wasn't extra. You needed that shit, you know? Be real with yourself. But that's another thing. Being real with yourself. You know, being real when you need some shit. You know, when it's for you. You know, if you can't share whatever the fuck you got, then you can't share it. You know, if you don't feel like sharing it. I know sometimes, a lot of times, you know, I'll share my food and stuff, but there'll be sometimes where I'll be like, I want to eat every bit of this shit. I want to eat every fucking bite to me. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But, again, certain situations have you fucked up about how much you really deserve. And I feel like that's another part of this is, like, realizing what you deserve, you know? And, you know, if you tell yourself, you know, you deserve fucking good things and bad things happen to you, that's real. Bad shit happen to all of us. But if you say, I deserve good things, and somebody's not treating you good, someone's not bringing good things into your life, you should be like, fuck out of here. Because, like, if you think you deserve good things, and they won't even bring you good things, or they won't even represent good things, or good things don't happen when you with their ass, maybe it's time to be like, fuck out of here. And yeah, and saying peace and deuces to fucked up ass people. That's also another part of that. I'm gonna get my drink on and I'm gonna get my powder on. And I'm gonna read the comments. Pause. This Pepsi is just like whatever to me. I'm not like super into soda, but I'll drink some shit for some flavor. You dig? You know, sometimes you just want a little bit of flavor in your mouth. I'm more of like an iced tea lemonade bitch. You feel me? I'm more of an iced tea lemonade bitch. I love me some iced tea. I love me some lemonade. I love a mixture, but I really don't mind. Yes, I love Pixies. I feel you. Feeling like you need to be strong. Feeling like you need to carry on for other people. It's hard. It's hard to like. It's hard when that's really your role in any kind of given situation, because that's real. You know, some people's lives, they really have to pretend or really put on the front like they're strong as fuck, like they can handle it all, like they can move mountains. And you know, to some people, it may really feel like you're moving mountains, like you're really doing it all. But at the end of the day, you know, when your back aches, when you really can't lift it all, when you really can't move it all, you know, there comes an honesty in that shit. And if those people don't understand your honesty, then it's like never gonna be a situation where you're gonna feel like people see the fuck who the fuck you are, see what you're doing, appreciate the work that you're doing. You know, if people really only see the part of your work that benefits them, how can they ever know the struggle of what it's like to be you? They never will. And if they don't even want to empathize, or they don't even want to try to feel you, it gets hard to keep walking in that same line, you know, walking in that same lane and trying to like get anything from it. Yeah, Simbots go in. Black women are not taking the time to heal and take care of themselves. You know what? It's real. And it hurts because it's like I know so many black women, black queers, black trans folks who really just don't have the space, the time, the ability, like so many levels of not being able to care for yourself. It just can kind of make you go kind of like, you know, maybe like I don't want to. You see, I don't want to be ableist, but I feel like that greatly impacts mental health. On top of the shit that already affects mental health in terms of being black, being a black woman, or being a black queer or trans folk. Those things are compounded by like your lack of resources and ability to get help. Exactly. People do try to make you feel guilty for wanting for yourself, but I feel like a lot of that also is self-imposed. I feel like in some ways we feel bad for wanting to like treat ourselves, for wanting to give ourselves something, for wanting to like pause, for wanting to express the way we want to express, for wanting to eat the food we want to eat. And you know, I do appreciate you, Becky, for saying that I'm strong, but I'm also not strong. You know, there's moments of strength that I think we all witness in ourselves, but that don't mean it's true all of the days and every situation, every instance. You know, there are lots of moments I felt like I wasn't gonna make it. Like there were lots of moments where, like, there were moments this fall winter where I was like, I don't know, like I'm not sure. Where like I was going to sleep hungry, waking up hungry. Where I was like, can I tell y'all, like I spent some time biking. Like I would bike like 2 miles to this hotel to like get the free breakfast buffet or get the free dinner buffet. Sometimes I would bike the 4 miles to get the breakfast and to get the lunch. You know, I would go to get the breakfast, I would come home, and I would go back at 5 o'clock to get the dinner. And that was like there were days where like if I didn't get that food, I would not have eaten all day. And like, you know, in that moment, yeah, I'm strong when I'm biking my ass to this fucking free food, and yeah, I'm strong when I'm like at my house, like trying not to act like I'm hungry, just drinking some water, you know, going the fuck to sleep. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't know, shit just got mad real. And like, I feel like a lot of times when things get mad real in my life, it's like, am I really strong or am I just fucking alive and this shit is just happening? You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes this strength that I quote unquote have is not at all strength. It's just the inability to like really not survive in this moment. You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, in that moment right then and there when I'm feeling like, you know, things are fucked up, things could end, things are not where they need to be. It's like, what do I do in that moment? I cry, I bike, I sleep, I eat, like, I smoke, I try to get the fuck away from it mentally, but it's like physically I'm in that moment and I won't get out of it, and it continues until I physically escape it. And then essentially, where did I go? Essentially, isn't that still happening? Isn't it just happening like somewhere where I can't hear it or see it or feel it or touch it? It's just a lot of things that like moving forward I really want to address and I really want to work on, because like I feel like so much stuff happened. um it was just very much shocking and very much eye-opening. And again, I'm a privileged person in that I was going through hunger, I was starving, and you know, through my connections with white folks, I'm able to fucking have food and heat and water and shit like that. And that comes from like my privileges, like in numerous amounts of ways, but also at the expense of, you know, my actual physical community. You know, I'm somewhere where there ain't even a black person that I'm gonna see. You know what I mean? Like, I really went from seeing a black person every day, every minute, every moment, to seeing very few black folks, and having a very small community. And that's unfortunate, and that's something that I really want to leave behind in 2013, is my lack of a physical community. I'm dead. I'm sorry. People be writing the funniest shit. Oh, yikes. Karen R510, hold on. Alright, so, okay, the topic of black women who have Spanish blood. Okay. I feel like what you're saying is kind of like all over the place, because I feel like when you say they have Spanish blood, like someone being black who has Spanish blood in them does not, like, that's not the only way to be an Afro Latina. I think like you should have said like maybe like someone who has like Latina like ancestry or something. I don't know, but I feel you. I feel you on anti-blackness in the Afro Latina community. But I also think that it's important to clock like the erasure of Afro Latinas, or Afro Latina people in general, in terms of like Latina representation and like Afro representation. You know, I feel like Latina people like very often just get categorized as like black people with good hair. You feel me? Like, I feel like their Afro Latina roots are never really discussed. I feel like they just get blended with like light skin or mixed folks, and I feel like that's also some shit to talk about as well. But I feel like there's definitely an erasure of because then again, even what you're saying, you know, because there are Afro Latina people who are not dark skinned, who are not black in terms of like being physically, or rather, excuse me, visibly, women of color, people of color, folks of color. So there's that. You know what I mean? Because some of them are like white Latina people who are Afro Latina people, but they don't claim their Latina. They don't claim their Afro roots or their black roots because of all of the fucking whitewashing, probably in like not only their like life, like their bloodline, but also like in terms of just like Latina people representation, like on like, you know, television or like in popular media in general. But again, I'm not an Afro Latina person, so I can't really speak to this shit. I'm speaking from like a speculation, just from like knowing and being close to Afro Latina people, and also like citing some conversations that happened within a realm of this similar conversation. Um, Zaynad, yes. Accepting your humanity. That shit is real too. Yo, and honestly, something else I wanted to talk about. Some other shit I wanted to leave in 2013. Self-objectification. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Because I was watching a documentary about it. About you know how like when you're being intimate, like if you're like a woman folk person, you know how like when you're intimate with like a typically like a cis dude or in any sexual situation, honestly, you are constantly like clocking what the fuck your body is doing. Like you're constantly clocking what you could be looking like at this angle. And I think that's really interesting because like I noticed this about myself. I noticed especially like being like a fat person. You know, I always am like aware of like my fat roll. Like, is my shirt over my fat roll? Like, is my fat roll out? Like, you know, like, is my shit tucked? You know what I mean? It's like I'm constantly like, as I walk, I'm like having like this in-brain idea of what I look like. And like, if I don't like it, if I feel like something is wrong, it's just like a whole like, I like change my clothes. I'm like fucking with my stuff, and it's just like damn, it's like really like there are times where like I call myself out about it. Like in my mind I'm like, what the fuck, why the fuck you doing this shit? You look good, bitch, you look good. You know what I mean? I try to tell myself, you know, bitch, you look fucking bomb. Like I try to remind myself, bitch, like whatever the fuck is going on, you look good, fuck out of here, we're not changing. Or I'll tell myself, you know, we can't improve on this shit, this shit is bomb. But it's like there's still moments where I'm like clocking myself like just in motion, or clocking myself intimately with a partner, clocking myself with other people, like how my body moves, like really clocking myself. And I'm like, damn, you know, like it's like damn, like don't let me be like around a group full of people, like, cause I'll be looking at people to look at me, and then I'll pop off. Like I popped off on people. Can I tell y'all? I popped off on people before they have popped off on me, and to be real, in some instances, I'm not sure if they were ever gonna pop off on me. But I had a situation where somebody looked at me, and I just felt like they were looking at me in like a little fat hater way, like, oh, like trying to make fun of my fat ass. So I was just like, fuck out of here. Like I popped off on this dude and this chick, like they was both together, and I like popped off on them because I thought they was trying to make fun of me and try to take pictures of me and shit. But then again, it's like I'm not trying to pop off on them. Excuse me, I'm not trying to pop off on these thin folks because I feel like these thin folks are gonna make fun of me. It's just that a lot of times, like one time in particular, I thought I was just really cute, and like honestly, my self-objectification that day, even to this moment, I remember exactly what I looked like on that bike, and I remember like self-objectifying so hard because these people were like laughing at me. They're like driving down the street slowly laughing at me. I was trying to tell them to pass me. I thought that they were being extra. Like they were in a white Lexus and they were like acting like they couldn't pass me on the street, and it was like a big ass street, and I was like, go ahead. And then when they was coming around me, I saw that they were taking a video of me. So that's why they were going so slow. They're taking a video of my fat ass biking down the street, and like I felt like I was Speed Racer, you feel me? Like I was feeling like zoom zoom, and these niggas was trying to like film me and make some sort of like fat joke or something, because when they were going past me they were laughing, and you know, it was just like a funny game or whatever. So then when I seen them doing that, I started pulling up the middle finger, and I'm like riding down the street with one finger up, you know, just smiling, just like hitting the swerve, like word, like wherever the fuck you send this shit, people gonna see me doing a cold swerve with the fucking middle finger, bitch. And right, like I almost crashed that damn fucking bike, but I still did it. I still gave them the motherfucking middle finger. But in that moment, I was like, damn, like, you know, I know that I was wearing like these Bermuda shorts, and I know that my fat pooch was like very visible in these shorts, and I had on like a fucking like shirt where it was like a vest shirt where like my arms were out and sleeved, and I had on suspenders, and I was very much a fat fuck on this bike. But god damn it, like these people are trying to play me. So now it's like, don't let me see some thin people near me laughing or nothing, because I really will pop off on them if I perceive there to be some sort of comedy, some sort of motherfucking Instagram photo. Because I have had people take photos of me. I haven't seen any no one's seen them apparently. No one important has seen them, or nobody that cares about them or cares about me has seen them. But I have seen people take pictures of me, and all types of people. I had a white man take pictures of me one time when I was inside of a store, working, and like the way he took a picture of me, it was so creepy because like I knew like the way the dress was, like it was a very like form-fitting dress, and it made my booty look kind of nice. And no shade, like I'm kind of self-conscious about my booty because I don't have like a very like prominent booty. Like my booty, like I got like a secret booty. You know what I mean? It's like a secret booty. You know what I mean? Like I got like a like undercover booty. Like did a bitch got a booty? I got a booty like undercover. You know what I mean? Undercover brother. Like I got a booty, but it's just it don't always be out. You know what I mean? Sometimes and you not sure. But in this dress, I for sure had a booty, and it was everything. And I was turned to the side, and I could see myself in the reflection of the glass in the window. And I was like, yes, bitch, you are giving me everything. Because I had on my gold afro weave and this black dress, bitch, with a slit. I was killing it, okay, bitch? Everybody was dying. So, anyways, this old-ass white man fucking took a picture of me from the street, and it was like, I was like, ew. Like, who does that shit? But that's where my anger comes from. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, I want to also say anger is relevant. Be angry, bitch. Sometimes you mad, and it's real. But really though, oh, thank y'all. Happy birthday. That's weird. Thank you. Whoa. 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 Thank you. A happy birthday to me. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh, what's this? Oh! Thank you. I'm dead. Y'all are funny. Yes, people be hating on your low-key booty. Don't let people hate on your secret booty. See, Norley, that's some bullshit. See. See. I'm dead, Simbas. You got me so dead. But really though, like, I think self-objectification is so serious. It be killing me sometimes. But I really did just get a bunch of snacks. I don't mean to be whack, but y'all know it's not my birthday no more. But it is my birthday still, kind of. And I love y'all. But I'm gonna be back. Alright, so I'm gonna post another video tomorrow. I'm sorry. I feel so whack because I was late, and then there's a bunch of y'all. But y'all, like, I got some ice creams, and then I got some Sour Patch, and then no tea, but like, this nigga got me 2 drinks, though, like, and a black can. So it's like, really, I got to go before my shit melts. Okay, but I love y'all, and I'm gonna post this shit on YouTube. But I'm gonna be back tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow you stream. What time is good for everybody? I'm gonna say 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern? Okay. Bye.